That toy life.
To catch these ghosts, you need the real Ghostbusters.
Nice landing, Han Solo.
Spaceships and Luke Skywalker sold separately. Batteries not included.
That toy life.
What is up, y'all?
What? What's up?
What's up?
What's up?
What's up? Look at me producing.
Look at me. Look at my toys. Look at my toys. You have to see my toys.
Show them off again.
Look at my toys.
Wow. Way to go, Arnold.
All right, here, start with the debate. Austin, was Total Recall a dream?
What is Total Recall?
Okay, you just ruined the whole bit.
No, I completely just blew the whole thing up because it's completely wiped from my brain.
Wow.
Arnold
Seriously?
I wish I could. No, it was a dream. I just wish I could pull the thing out of my nose right now, just like.
Oh God, that was horrible.
Your face turns into a weird animatronic for a moment.
Oh my God. I always loved that about all the Arnold movies. There was always a point, it seemed like I almost wish they would do it in the comedies too. Yeah. They would just do it in comedies too. Like it would always be in Terminator and in Total Recall. It would cut to like him and obviously not him. And it would just be like this, and it was just freaky, completely freaky. So I just always, especially in Total Recall, when the woman,
weird face, the face mask came off, and he had the weird
yeah,
face.
It was just like this because it was already weird enough with that face, but then he had the it was like the fake robot head with the one thing, it's just crazy.
Is that the one with the three boobed lady?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she had three boobies. Yeah, and what's funny is I think that was wasn't that the lady? She was like. I think it was the same actress. She ended up being like one of the crew members on Next Generation, or maybe it was vice versa. Maybe she was on Next Gen first, and then because a lot of people listen. I didn't realize that until when I was. And plus, I wasn't a Star Trek guy early on. I was full Star Wars. So whenever I got into Star Trek, it was so funny going through Next Gen and seeing all the. Just all these early actors that got their start in Next Gen, just being a random crew member, especially Diedrich Bader. I remember Diedrich Bader actually worked on the bridge. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, look at him. Because usually they would be in engineering. And then the three booby woman, I think she was in a real good episode of Star Trek. She was in this episode called Q Who, where they introduced the Borg. So that's how I distinctly remember her, because it was like she was this nervous new cadet or whatever, and she had a lot of interactions with Geordi, with Reading Rainbow guy. Mm-hmm. So there was a lot of that, but then that was a really awesome episode. So yeah, she was lucky to be a part of that one for sure.
Here's a quick 80s question then about these type of movies from back then. Do you think we could ever get back to a place where we can have our hero literally use an innocent civilian as a human meat shield when bad guys are shooting at him? Do you not remember that in the escalator? There's an escalator when he's going up, and then Michael Ironside and his minions start shooting down at him. Guy in front of him gets shot, and then Arnold just grabs him and starts running forward with this guy and just lets him get shot to death in front of him.
Pretty much. And you say a meat shield, that's pretty much he looked like ground beef shooting off his back. Those, I always love those kind of squibs, because they had them in John Woo movies and a lot of Asian Hong Kong stuff. Now, yeah. It's all and to me, I like the real, those crazy squibs where the person's just just going like pieces of them just flying off, but I will say though, everything going on with Alec Baldwin and all that, you're going to see a huge change, I think, in action. You're probably going to either see it's probably going to start to become a lot more fake. It's just going to, because they're going to have to start CGing a lot of stuff. Or I wonder if they're going to actually come up with better, prop weapons. You know what I mean? That look, I mean, like they actually look like they're working, but they're
Mhm.
completely harmless, like no rounds or anything.
See that? Well, that's what I've heard. Like, well, I've heard like at least one or two directors say like, and these are directors from that I remember them having particularly good movies. When I saw the quote where they say like, we've never had any kind of real gun on our set before, and I was thinking like, wow, that's that surprised me because their effects look really good. So I think it might be the case of that's going to take more precedence into making sure. Don't worry about having real weapons. It's a movie, so you just make the fake ones look as good as possible.
And
make
that's
them
how
look like they work. Just don't actually fire anything.
Right, and what's weird growing up, I think when I was a little kid, I used to thought that's how it was in the movies, that they had just really good like props, like they just had really good like non-lethal weapons. But obviously then you remember the stuff with Brandon Lee,
yeah.
And then that changed everything. And then I remember as a kid being like, whoa, you mean to tell me you can get shot on a movie? And not only that, it was by a supposed blank, like it was just a fragment of like a metal fragment. I think that it hit him. So it's I guess it's pretty crazy. I mean, not to get like all super sad about it, but it's we're gonna see probably a big change.
Yeah, I remember seeing the behind the scenes of the Matrix movie, the first Matrix, and you remember the big shootout at the beginning, right? Or not the beginning, but the end. In the lobby. Mm-hmm. I remember seeing the behind the scenes shot of when Keanu comes out through the metal detector and he starts doing the shooting with the like automatic pistols. I remember seeing just so it's a behind the scenes shot from the side, but when you see him just like pull this pistol up. And it's a machine pistol, and you just see all these squibs just go off like he's been really shot. And I'm just thinking, like, how does he not really die? Like, and this is me as like a teen, because this was probably around 2000. This was after the movie had already come out, and I'm seeing behind the scenes stuff. I was like, I don't think I could do that. I don't think I could get shot. I don't think I could do squibs like that. That looked too real.
Right. No, that's what I'm saying. They look great. That's why I've always wanted to try it. I want to know what it feels like because I feel like there must be pain to it.
I've heard it stings. Not too bad, but you're having like a tiny explosive, basically go off.
Oh my
of
God.
But they're supposed to.
It'd be like, Keanu, that didn't look good. Let's try that again. And just keep hitting him and hitting him and hitting him. I was like, God Almighty, how do you even stand that?
Because what I remember is like. There's like a little plate, I think, over you, and then there's like it's almost like a little firecracker type thing, and then like a little blood pack with it, and that's what makes the effect. Yeah,
not me.
Yeah. I don't know if I could do it.
I'd do it. I would do it in a heartbeat. I would like, wire me up. I'd be like, wire me up because it just looks cool. I'd be like, do it.
But would you do like a machine gun shot up your body?
Oh yeah. I mean, I would want to do because like just for example, this is similar. I'd want the experience. Like I want to know what it felt like. I haven't been shot by a paintball before. I've always wanted to be shot just to know what it feels like. I've always wanted to do like go out and do paintball. I've just never done it. So surprise. And I've grown up with guns and shot on the marksman team and things like that. I've always been a gun fan. Like I like guns, but I'm not like a fanatic. Like I'm not a like gotta have everything and all that. But so basically though, I've always wanted to know what some of that stuff feels like. So the paintballs, I had friends that were doing what do you call it? Not BBs, but what do they call that for a little bit?
Airsoft,
I don't see
or whatever.
Airsoft. Yeah. But it was just like they were doing the airsoft stuff. And so I said, they came to one of our parties one time and they had a full on, like it was just a big old machine gun. And it was an airsoft gun and it looked real. And I'm like, are you like, so is that loaded right now? Like, can you fire, like you're firing it? And they're like, yeah, you could fire it. And so I shot a few rounds and I'm like, can you shoot me with it? Like I didn't want to shoot myself, but I wanted to be at a decent range. And they're like, yeah, I guess. And I'm like, all right. So and I thought they were just going to pop me once, and they pretty much sprayed my back, and it probably feels like squib. So like I think I could take it, but those things weren't a joke either. So I couldn't imagine getting shot with a paintball in the back or anywhere, like especially exposed skin like you've seen in the Jackass movies. Wherever you see them get hit, like with a paintball, I'd probably die. You see me spill open, it would be you're like, oh, look at that paint. That's not paint.
That's not paint. That's his real blood.
That's his goo. That's his food goo.
You want to take a shot from a little riot suppressor round?
I would not do that. That is something. Oh my God! Or even like a live bullet to the vest, because that's how Johnny Knoxville got started. I mean, before Jackass, that dude took a gun. I mean, this isn't a laughing matter. He shouldn't have done it. It was really, really stupid. But he took I think it was a 9mm, or I think it was a 9 Glock, and he had like a bulletproof vest on. It was like for a magazine, and he just shot himself in the chest.
I never saw that. I'm gonna have to look that up.
Yeah. Oh, Ray's like, I'm gonna look that up.
I gotta look that up.
They definitely. I think they also show it. If you look on Hulu, there's a documentary about Big Brother.
Mm-hmm.
The magazine that he got started. That's pretty much how all that Jackass stuff got started. And so I think they show that, or I think that might have been where I had seen it, or I don't know. But that's just crazy stuff, man.
Man, speaking of guns and our love of peace, the Peacemaker finale just happened, and Austin has not watched it yet.
I bet there's a lot of squibs on that show. Is there? What do you think?
And that's another guy who would take a body and use it as a meat armor.
He'd probably use his own body as meat armor. Like I mean, John, I'll tell you this much. I'm not a big fan of John Cena, but that dude's built like he's scary. Like he looks like, I mean, he definitely, the one thing is he came in right after I got out of wrestling. Like to me, he stepped in at the right time. It was like when my heroes, like especially towards the end, all my guys were gone, like Hulk and Big Boss Man and Macho Man, all those, that kind of era was gone. And by the time like Stone Cold and The Rock was taking a bow, that was when I'm like, yeah, it's not my thing either. And John Cena jumped in there and he's doing all the, all that. I wanted no part of that. And I'm like, but I knew that was for a new audience, and it blew up obviously. And he's been a superstar ever since. I will say he does have that scary wrestler physique, like Hulk had it. Hulk was just like a scary dude. I wouldn't mess with him. Macho Man. I wouldn't mess with Macho Man.
I would say John Cena's physique looks scarier than Hulk Hogan's.
You think so?
I mean, dude has arms. I mean,
he does. That's the thing, is he's got
everywhere.
Guns. I'll say the scariest, though. I think the scariest wrestler I've ever seen is Bill Goldberg, and I say that with pride too, because he's hometown, Yeah. But it's like he just had them football. From playing football, he had those neck muscles that just when he speared people, I'm like, that person's dead. He just killed that person. He died. He straight up died. But no, I mean, I don't know. And he still can do it and stuff. I don't know. It's. And speaking of, man, I was actually looking recently at some wrestling. It was like it was something on some streaming service that me and my wife was watching, and it was a old WWF WrestleMania thing, and I was like, that's like the old stuff. I just flipped through it just to see if it would. Like I went through the stream to see what all it had, and I think it had some ads for like the toys and like the wrestling buddies, and I was sitting there thinking about like. I'm like, oh my God, I used to love those toys, man. I forget who was the toy company behind
LJN, I think.
LJN did the original line of like the Hulkamania toys and all that. Did LJN also do the big rubber ones before that? Like whenever
they did the big rubber tall, like tall.
Yeah. They were all like this.
Yeah, or like yeah.
And they were like a big old doll. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did they also make terrible video games about wrestling?
Probably so. You know what's funny though is I don't know if they actually did any of the wrestling games. They may have, but I just remember some of the wrestling games actually being good.
Yeah.
But then LJN's always been known for just being bad.
I mean, if you want to make a good wrestling game, I remember the best one was when they exaggerated the moves of the wrestlers. So I remember like the Undertaker actually had some paranormal moves.
Oh yeah.
I'd have to remember. I have to look it up. Like it was one I played with a friend way, way, way back when. This was like second grade for me. So this was mid '90s. So this one was
Nintendo, probably.
Yeah, it was for him. It was a Genesis. He had a Sega Genesis, and it was like.
Was it WCW or was it or was it WWF?
It was like with the Undertaker, Bret Hart.
WWF.
So it was WWF.
Yeah.
Probably like WWF Superstars or something like that, but no. Not to derail it. John Cena has that wrestling look, except for in the face. I always felt like he just had that younger look. and he looked like he was just fresh out of the military, and I'm like, okay, I guess he's kind of going for that, and whatever. Like, I don't know. I'm just used to my wrestlers being like balding up here, and then I guess long hair and just baby oil all over them. I guess that must just be my thing. I don't know.
I prefer my wrestlers bald with mullets.
Yeah, bald mullets,
Bald
comb overs.
I prefer not to know what they
gonna
really
get
look
you.
like.
Yeah.
They have their faces completely covered in paint or a lucha libre mask.
Sting, Ultimate Warrior. Whoa!
I will say though, when they brought Undertaker in onto the scene, that to me was a good shakeup, because it was like you would have those, because they always had the dumb intros for all the wrestlers, or like the segments where they talked or something. This one it was like, we're gonna go live to a graveyard, and then there's just this dude out there. There's this fat dude out there with like a cup, and he's like, oh. And he's just like, and you think you're watching some like the drive-in, or they're doing it now on Shudder, but like the old horror fest or whatever, the horror marathons.
Mm-hmm.
He would always be that, but it was the pallbearer, and then you'd have this Undertaker, and anytime he didn't talk, and then anytime he wrestled, he won. And I was like, this is stupid. Like, I mean, I loved it, but it was at the same time, it brought like this new unrealism to the whole thing that kind of made me laugh, because I'm like, don't put him in the ring. He's going to beat everybody. That's not fair. Like, there was no like manly sport to that. I'm like, this dude come out of the ground and he's supposed to beat everybody. Get him out of here. That's for Halloween. But then John Cena come in there, and he's Mr. Magic Man, so he's trying to do all kinds of magic now. Now he's a Peacemaker.
Well, you're talking about his physique. He does. I could be wrong, but he does look a little bit smaller. But that's kind of like a trend I notice sometimes with wrestlers when they get into movies and they start getting more into acting. It's like they still stay in shape, but it doesn't seem like it's the roided intensity that they probably did before when they were actually wrestling. Yeah. Because I remember
because they probably had to collide a lot more and hit a lot more when they were younger. Yeah. So probably by the time they get to the movies, they can focus more on the health fitness of it and cut back on a lot of that unhealthy stuff.
Yeah. Oh, I remember The Rock for a while. He was smaller. He had lost.
Now,
he was still in shape. I'm not saying
he's a monster.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying
ripping Gates down and smacking Vin Diesel down and Tyrese down.
Well, there were movies at first, like some of his little Disney weird family movies, or like The Rundown. He'd kind of gotten or Walking Tall. He was smaller. He was still built, but he was smaller.
Even Southland Tales.
Yeah. He was believable for his stature. But yeah, after I think it happened around Fast 5, and then all of a sudden he decided, I'm gonna go full out now. I think he had maybe he wanted to compete with Vin Diesel, who looked the most built on screen.
Because
Dude, I don't think Vin Diesel's truly built anymore. I don't think he does. I think it's camera trickery now. I think he does just enough to get by.
Yes,
probably, or at least he gets bolted up for the movie shoot, and then afterwards he's probably lets it all go, to relax and stuff.
I mean, truthfully, I would do the same thing.
I would too.
Where's the ice cream?
But it's a trick thing. It's a Hollywood thing that I hate, because I'm sure a lot of these actors and stuff, they're, they only get really, really into shape if a movie demands a shirtless scene. I've noticed, I remember hearing about Hugh Jackman and stuff like that when I think maybe he was doing Wolverine or Logan, one of them, or X-Men Origins, one of the ones where he had a shirtless scene. And basically, I think he said the day before he had to dehydrate, basically no water for 24 hours to make the veins on his body pop.
Are you serious?
Yeah. And even Jason Momoa talked about it for Aquaman. I think he said it was a joke thing. He was talking about a joke anecdote from when he was filming, where it's a thing that you do is you dehydrate the day before you do a shirtless scene, so that your muscle definition and your veins and stuff pop. And for some reason, the day of the shoot, or leading up to the shoot, he was noticing no, it's not happening. And then he said, well, what can I do to kind of dehydrate my body more? I'm going to drink some beer. So he drank some beer, and that actually worked. Yeah, it's a weird industry in that respect, how they'll, you have to basically punish your body just for a shirtless shot. And
I wonder who started that trend.
Sylvester Stallone, probably.
You think so?
he got
Arnold
built for
Schwarzenegger.
Rocky, yeah.
I'm just saying, I wonder if there was anybody that before him that was doing that stuff for movies that was really like.
I don't know, but if you look at his career, though, I mean, you saw the first Rocky. He was kind of, he was
more normal,
big,
buff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was believable buff. But by
Rocky
2, 3, he
Rocky
was
3, where he oiled up,
ripped.
Every
Yeah.
shot and was cut everywhere.
Well, they even mention it in the movie. I mean, they tried to pass it off like it was more of a change later in the movie, but even in the throughout the whole movie, he's like almost a welterweight. He's cut so small.
Yeah.
Like, because the first 2 movies he was just like a chunky, it was mostly just bulk.
Yeah.
But then when he toned down and then defined the muscles by 3, good God, like it's ridiculous. And in 4, it's just all like CG. It almost is like CG stuff. It's just like, and you just see all these like veins popping out of everybody's wrist.
He got so tired by the end of 4. It's like, oh man, I can't do that again. The 5 movie, I'm gonna have my brain go bad, so I ain't gotta work out no more.
Yeah, that didn't work out good.
Hey, I'm fine with Rocky 5. I don't hate it.
Oh, I don't hate it. I just know that it's like
I
just know that people hate it after, like they didn't like it. I didn't like it as the last movie. I was always
Rocky
disappointed that he didn't get to. I was glad when he did that because that felt like a true final Rocky movie.
Mm.
But yeah, I never hated 5 either because I loved like the storyline. I dug. I always Tommy Gunn. That whole thing was just like that. I don't know. I loved it. And then by the end of it, when they had that street fight, I'm like, I'm all for it.
Well,
you knock him down. Won't you try knocking me down now?
Well, Ashley, did you like or did you watch the Creed movies?
I haven't watched the Creed movies. I've seen Rocky Balboa, but I haven't seen the Creed movies.
I was surprised by how much I enjoyed the Creed.
Really?
Yeah,
both of them. Like.
Yeah,
first one's a great one, like on focusing on legacy and stuff like that and what he's dealing with. But second one was a really good one. Like that was because all the history with the Dragos plays into it. Oh,
that's right. Good. Yeah, they do in the Creed 2 movie. They link it back to Rocky 4 a lot.
Yeah, because
they do that.
Yeah, because a fight opportunity comes up for like Adonis to fight Drago's son. Yeah.
Speaking of, Sylvester recently, or Sly, excuse me, Mr. Stallone, Sly, he just put out like the director's cut of Rocky 4. It was like it's like Rocky.
I've heard about that. Yeah.
It's like Rocky versus Drago, I think is what he's calling it or something like that. But
really,
but yeah, it's supposed to be completely. Yeah, I mean, like I don't even think the robot's in the movie at all anymore. Like I think he completely cut it out. And then I don't know. I hear it's way more. I hear it's good. Like I want to check it out. But I hear that even the Bridget Nielsen's character gets a lot of her stuff gets cut.
I thought you were going to say
the speech at the end. If I could do it.
No, I thought you were going to say.
Actually, I think they extended that about 10 minutes.
I thought you were going to say that his training montage was twice as long.
It could be for all.
He carries twice as many logs up the hills.
I am interested to know what music cues are in this, like if they kept any of the original music besides the score, because if he cut all the music out, I am going to be disappointed because I bet there's something that got cut. But I'm also wondering if because remember you get that long James Brown intro for Apollo's intro, and you're like, oh man, this dude's definitely going to die. I remember watching that. I know.
The arrogance is too much.
Oh, I remember watching that for the first, because my brother introduced me to that series, and me watching that going like, he's going to die. He's totally dying right now.
Living in America.
Yeah, living in America.
When he comes out, and he's wearing like
ghost.
Wearing the American flag pants.
Oh yes,
the hat. He had that big hat, the big top hat.
The Uncle Sam hat. That's what it was. It's like a big. I think it was like a big Uncle Sam type hat, wasn't it? Or was it just a?
Well, that's what I'm saying. It was like it wasn't like a big like an Uncle Sam top hat or yeah. But think about if you were the person fighting him, like you would want to knock him out whenever he was done because like it's just stupid. But I get it. He's supposed to be, but that's the thing though, is he's supposed to be sort of like a, like a symbol for Muhammad Ali and all that in the movie, or in the series. So I get it. He's kind of like the American hero.
But well, we got away from
Peacemaker. Hey, listen, I kept trying to steer it back for you, and y'all just wanted to keep going.
But here,
but tell me, how's the finale? I'm hearing finale was big. Everybody's loving it.
It was big, but we can't really talk about it without spoiling the crap out of it.
Oh, really? You can't? Okay.
We can say this though. What would you, now that the season is done, let's say 5, how would you rate it, Ashley? Give it an easy 5 out of 5, 4 out of 5?
Yeah, I liked it better than the Suicide Squad.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I guess it was time. You had more time for a character development, and really fleshing out the Peacemaker character, and then just the stuff at the end was really cool.
Yeah,
that was really a nice little nod there, and just a little and because of that, you know that a lot of these things that he says throughout the series are like, oh, so they really are in the DC universe.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about Batmite or
Matter Eater Lad,
or how Green Arrow's goes to Brony. My Little Pony shows.
Aquaman has a fish fetish.
Talking about they talk about brony stuff. Is that still a thing? Bronies?
Yeah, they say. What do you say? Green Arrow dresses. He goes to brony shows, dresses up as the back half of a pony with a
something like that
4-inch hole in his butt or something.
Makes you wonder, like, with all these wild rumor things, he just comes up with that. Like, makes you wonder what message boards he frequents.
Yeah, really.
Listen, this is James Gunn we're talking about, and he's coming from the trauma universe. That's what a lot of people like. Anytime anybody ever, or if you ever see things mentioned, or like the original controversy with James Gunn, I'm like, has anybody not read this dude's IMDb page? Like, this dude come from trauma. Like, Lloyd Kaufman was his mentor. Yes, he's going to say and do things that are crazy and wild. That's just, that's just for shock value. Mm-hmm. And he's great. The dude is like, he's one of the greats that came from that, that's proof that any of that can make art and artists. And James Gunn is so good at what he does. I'm not even a horror movie fan. Mm-hmm. And I remember Slither, giving me a visceral reaction. Yeah. I'm just saying, like, it made a lasting impact on me. I had no desire to watch the movie until I watched it, and then I had a actual reaction to it, and then I was like, that movie was actually pretty good, and it was funny, and it was witty, and I don't know, like, I've followed him ever since. And then with Suicide Squad, I'm like, God, this is so James Gunn. So I definitely want to give Peacemaker a chance.
Yeah,
you need to.
Easy 5 out of 5. And like I actually said, like, it does an incredible job of fleshing him out. And I think that was something that, I noticed, talking with you and Kenny about it, you weren't big fans of his character in the Suicide Squad, though, Peacemaker.
I mean, it was like purposefully. I mean, I liked his humor. His humor was, obviously the jokes, but you weren't supposed to really like him. So I'm like, he did a good job. That's a lot of times, and my wife is good at that. Like, if somebody does a good job of making you not like them, she'll be like, I just hate that person. I'm like, but isn't that great? Like, it's so good when somebody can make you hate them that bad. Like, it's just like that guy in Veep. I don't know if y'all watch that show Veep, and I don't know his name, but he's the tall, lanky, weird-looking dude that gets on everybody's nerves on that show. Everybody hates him, and he's obnoxious. And it's like, even me, I look at him, I hate that guy, and I don't hate people. And I'm surprised somebody doesn't knock him out every day. Like, just knock him out. So I always love those kind of character actors that can, or I mean, just actors that can really make that role. And I feel like John Cena did a good job of like just being like this obnoxious, like, I don't know. I mean, in his head, he is a god, like he's the guardian, I don't know.
Well, on that about, what he thinks of himself, that's another thing, like, that Peacemaker really does, is like, James Gunn doesn't treat him as a joke. Like, there's a lot of comedy in it, but you really get a deep, kind of almost meditative look at how broken he is. He's a very broken, almost, he wrote a tweet later on about how he's like an artist, but he was muted in life because, like, you see his father, played by Patrick Stewart, he's a white supremacist, and he's horrible. Like, your first scene with him in the show, like, he's just Robert Patrick does an incredible job of just making you hate him.
Wait, Robert Patrick or Patrick Stewart?
Not Patrick Stewart. Yeah, I meant Robert.
Robert Patrick. I got you. Yeah, he was.
Got me.
And that's another one. He's a good character actor too. But when I saw him in the opening credits, I'm like, God, he's probably going to be so good in this show. I love him.
He is incredible. And but like John Cena, his acting, like, he really gets a chance to kind of sink his teeth in and show his dramatic, range. Like, there's some great moments where James Gunn uses, I might have talked about this already before, but he uses music to kind of convey, because it's almost like Christopher Smith, Peacemaker, he uses music to kind of process his pain and trauma. Mm-hmm. Because you'll see moments where he's kind of like just in his, like, he plays music and you kind of just see him kind of going along with music. Then you'll see these flashbacks of things that are kind of haunting him. Like, for instance, like Rick Flag, like killing Rick Flag and Rick Flag's final words to him, Peacemaker, what a joke. That haunts him still. You can see that, and you see other stuff in his past that haunt him. And yeah, he really got to shine. And like, by the end of this series, I mean, even before that, I was rooting for him, like, not just as like the hero of the show, like as a character, because James Gunn kind of really got down beneath the surface and made you kind of care for him, believe it or not. Like, I was like, God, I don't want anything bad to happen to him now.
Oh, and I'll say this too, like, from Daddy's Home 2, which he was in with, I guess, Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg. Is that Daddy's Home? Yeah,
Daddy's Home and Daddy's Home 2.
Yeah. Dude has grown as an actor, like, leaps and bounds. I mean, this show really showcased what he could do as an actor. I mean, he's always surprised. When he would show up and stuff, he would always be, like, obviously ready to make fun of himself and be funny. But yeah, when I started seeing him, I mean, beyond the action, I knew that whenever he was starting to get into more acting and stuff like that, I don't know. I mean, I feel like he had it, like he's got the chops for it. So I knew he was gonna get there. Yeah, just the range of emotions that he goes through, and just the way he shows those emotions, you're like, wow, man, this dude can really act. Yeah, it's not he's no Hulk Hogan, but he's
Santa with muscles. I mean, you can't top that.
I would like to see a James Gunn produced or written, directed, whatever, get John Cena and do like a Suburban Commando remake.
No, get James Gunn, and he's going to completely remake Three Ninjas High Noon on Mega Mountain.
That's fine too. We can do that. Why don't we just tie that in? It just exists in the same universe as Suburban Commando.
They should already exist.
I was frozen today.
I mean, you could say that, I guess. Yeah. Three Ninjas, that Encino Man, they all kind of happen in the same universe. Yeah, really.
So we got any toy news? We had a lot of reveals this week, didn't we?
Yeah, I think that, you know what? We have a lot of Star Wars reveals.
Definitely a lot of Star Wars stuff. One thing I definitely pre-ordered, we got in Lego, we got the reveal and pre-order temporarily of the N1 Starfighter from the Mandalorian from Book of Boba Fett. I saw that. It was up on Lego. It's not there anymore, but I was actually able to put a pre-order in for it. So
you did? Mm-hmm. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know you got that in. Or maybe I did know and I just forgot.
Don't care.
Maybe I did know and I really don't care what you did.
And we got some Hasbro Star Wars stuff, didn't we? No,
we've already looked at that. I'm looking through the stuff. We got
I did see one announcement from Hasbro, like one figure that made me mad. I know you're probably going to know which one I'm going to talk about.
Chrysanthemum.
And it should be Black Chrysanthemum. And I knew they were going to do it when it was announced. I'm like, please don't tell me they did that. But what they're saying, and this could be corrected, maybe this is just preliminary, but I think they're going to just use a Chewbacca mold and just repaint it black. That's what the picture looks like. It just looks like probably an Empire Chewie mold, and then they just paint it in black. And that is not black chrysanthemum. That is
That's pretty much what they did.
Yeah, and
now.
They've got to do something different. They've got to change that.
I will say this though, when it comes to molds and stuff like that, I mean, because I'm not too technical in knowing what they do in terms of, or what they can do in terms of reuse. But can they add stuff? Because I know he does have like a scarring. Can they add stuff like that, or is that just?
They've got. Look at the picture right here that I've got. Up. You can see the scar, but it's not really like. Oh, I guess this is comic accurate and not.
Show
Boba Fett accurate, because Book of Boba Fett he had like 3 scars.
But in the comics though, that's way earlier though. So I mean, he's by then, he could have all kinds of scars. But the main thing though, I mean, it looks like I like the details they add to it, but he's supposed to be bigger. That's the only thing is Black Chrysanthemum is just bigger, bulkier Wookiee. Yeah. So he looks way too scrawny right there. Yeah, Chewie was just scrawny, and that's where they fail. I mean, that's. And I get it. You got to save money, and maybe that's like I said. Maybe that's not the final look. Maybe that's just
no.
Like
this is what dude. If they've got pictures like this, they're
in a box.
Okay. Well, see, I couldn't tell if they were real, if they were actually real, or if they had just, if these were like computer images. I couldn't tell.
No, those are real.
See, and I would love to have this figure, but I just can't do that, man. Like it's. They could have at least just bulked him up a little bit more. I feel. I don't know. I feel like all they had to do was just add more fur, just like maybe just like another layer of plastic or something over him, or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it does seem like it does seem almost kind of like I think the only thing unique about him in terms of just his basic mold, maybe his head is a little bit more unique. Like they just used a Chewbacca body.
That's right. I think that's probably what they did was they probably took a Chewie body, made a new head, and then they put the armor on him. Which I mean, I like the armor. But yeah, it is a bummer. I would have liked it because I mean that would warrant like like almost the size of Zeb. I'm trying to think of what you would call those deluxe figures. They were like a little bit bigger. Yeah, he was because he's just a big bulky. I mean, look, he's even in the photo. He's just like big and bulky. Yeah. And then you look at him in the box, and it's like he's like, but I lost some weight. I've been.
I'm on Weight Watchers.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, but other than that, at least they are making an effort. But it's probably just like, oh, he's probably, he's popular. We better.
But are they making an effort?
I mean, it's an effort. They're making a movement.
I think
even about.
But it's something.
I think that like people with Hasbro, they dedicate certain budgets to. The different brands that they have. But right now, Marvel, I'm sure, is at the top of the list because they're the most popular. They get the most money. Star Wars, maybe not. And once they have this mold and this tooling for this figure, it's like, the more we can use it, the better off we are. We save money here for something else down the road. So I mean, I can't blame them.
Right. Oh no. And plus, I bet you there'll probably be a better version that'll come out. Like whenever they put him out in like like a regular box, I wouldn't be surprised if they did like a better mold. Like there'll probably be some backlash, and they'll go, okay, we probably have it in the budget now. This time we'll fix it, make it better, and put it out in regular packaging and
maybe
which that'll probably be years from now. But
yeah, and it's a fan channel exclusive, so that means it's only going to be available on what. Hasbro Pulse or something crazy like Amazon or Entertainment Earth. It doesn't sound like it's going to be released in stores.
Well, there was another Black Series reveal this week and a pre-order drop, and then promptly gone before I could get a chance to remember to try to pre-order it.
What was that?
The new Cad Bane from Bad Batch.
Yes, where's that at? I had Cad Bane. I had him pulled up somewhere. Apparently,
you haven't seen his outfit, like his getup he has in the Bad Batch, have you, Austin?
I haven't yet. I haven't gotten to that episode.
Yeah. He his new his get up he has for the Bad Batch is pretty cool. Like it's a little different than what he wore throughout Clone Wars. And even
is the hat smaller in Bad Batch?
It's a little it's a little less wide. Yeah, it's a little smaller.
And see, that one still looks almost like the same figure I have. It almost looks like just a repaint.
Well, his head is different, and he doesn't have his.
Oh, he doesn't have his. It looks like he doesn't have his what-you-call-it.
Well, the tubes are like if you go to the box shot again, he has his tubes in. If you go to
let me go look. Yeah, he does have the tubes.
There they are. Okay, I was going to say they didn't have weird thing. Yeah, I was going to say mine looks like that with the tubes.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Are they in the product shots anywhere though?
Yeah, I don't think so. Maybe this was I don't know.
Looks like they unplugged them or something. I wonder why maybe they pulled them out to make him more posable. Like maybe his head wouldn't move that well with them.
Maybe, yeah, that would make sense. But his head mold is definitely different because his eyes are much more squinted than they are in the original mold, the one from the clone.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, but it still looks like it's like the paint job's a little weird on it, like almost like it's just a quick repaint. But I could be wrong. I like it. I mean, I would definitely. I mean, I've already got one, but I wouldn't mind having another version of him. But it does look like a quick repaint.
Well, go back and get it, or go if you look at it and compare the two, it's very different. Like the trench coat's not there at all, and I don't think he had this armor get up, like the little armor plate he's wearing. I don't think he ever.
Yeah, he didn't. He didn't.
No, I know.
Maybe I'd say the pants. Maybe the pants might be a repaint.
But
the hat, the head is definitely smaller.
So, did you pre-order this guy?
I tried. Now I didn't remember. It went up at 1 p.m. I remember hearing about that, and I completely forgot to remind myself to check in at 1 p.m. And then it was like 3:45, and I remembered. Oh wait, and then
this was Amazon, right? And Amazon.
It was Amazon exclusive. Yeah. Unfortunately,
yeah. Maybe they'll have another one, some more, backup.
I'm still waiting for my Crate Luke. When are they going to do a Crate Luke, man?
When Ryan Johnson gets started on his new Star Wars trilogy, that's what my guess.
Listen, in my glass case right now, I've got old Luke, and he's holding his correct lightsaber in his hand. So.
His green one.
Yeah, it doesn't have a blade; it just has the hilt. But it looks awesome. He's just standing there holding the hilt. It looks awesome.
Man, yeah, I wish they would have been able to make a couple more waves for those, but. Unfortunately, we got what we got.
So there was also some news this week that McFarlane kind of broke, claiming that he was the best. DC Multiverse was the best-selling toy line of 2021. Did y'all hear about this one?
I heard about it, but I didn't really know what to think of it. Because it did come off like from just reading the headlines, it sounded like he was just being a braggart.
Well, no, I mean this there was an official announcement from some toy insiders or something that said this. I can't remember where the official announcement was, but there was some.
I would believe it because at the price point and at the amounts that I've seen in multiple stores. I could see him being a top seller.
What is the NPD group? I don't know, but they're action figures and accessories. DC Comics Superheroes Multiverse Figure 7-inch assortment McFarlane toys. But then so once that gets announced, then the Ryan Ting from the Marvel Legends brand comes on and he starts giving his stuff, saying of note, in tracking U.S. retail point of sale data, MPD does not aggregate a manufacturer's similar waves, assortments, collections with unique item numbers. He says a hypothetical product line with 10 waves, all under the same assortment number, has total sales consolidated into a single row in the summary data view. However, an identical line of 10 waves, each under a unique assortment number, is represented by 10 separate rows in the data, quite an important distinction in determining the true top selling items. I would think.
So in layman's terms, what is he saying?
If I'm reading this right, It sounds
depends
like
on how you look at the. It depends on how you look at the data or something.
From a certain point of view.
No, when companies put these things like these lines out, so they have an assortment number. Like McFarlane is maybe putting every single figure under this one assortment number, right? Where Marvel Legends, each wave is like maybe a different assortments. So they may have like 10 waves a year or something like that, where McFarlane just has the one, right? So theirs is one line item that says, oh, you sold 800,000 of these toys, where Marvel Legends each one has 100,000 toys under each assortment.
Yeah.
Or, you know what I'm saying? So they're not taking all the Marvel Legends and putting them together and saying, oh, this is the total number. They're looking at each assortment compared to what McFarlane does with the way that's the way I'm reading this. And I could be saying that wrong, but to me, when you go to a store other than Eternals and Shang-Chi, you don't really see Marvel Legends on the shelf. You see DC Multiverse stuff sitting there. Every Target I go to, there is like a section full of DC Multiverse. And I'm not complaining. I'm a DC Multiverse fan. But when I go and look at the Marvel Legends stuff, unless it's Eternals or Shang-Chi, there's nothing there. It's gone. So I would think that data is not correct. I would think, Marvel Legends probably outsells.
It could, but I will say, I do feel like I agree with you. I see a lot of Shang-Chi and Eternals toys.
Yeah.
But I do see a lot of just Marvel stuff sitting there too. Like, just it always seems like there's plenty of Marvel stuff.
Marvel Legends, though.
What are we talking? You're talking about the 6 and 7 inch figures, right?
Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about. I always see a bunch of Marvel, like I see a lot of like the WandaVision show stuff or the Falcon and Winter Soldier show. It usually is about kind of what's in rotation, and then like some random Marvel, like comic book and cartoon stuff. I happen to see a lot of it there, but I will agree with you though. I do see a lot of DC stuff there sitting there too. I mean, who knows how much they're actually selling of it? But if I see a lot of it in rotation, I just always assume that it must be selling pretty decent. Like if they're willing to keep stocking it in the stores like that, and really take up a lot of shelf space, they must sell a lot of it. And especially if you go to Targets, they put DC stuff first. That's like the first thing you come to, and it's almost like the Coke tactic, where Coca-Cola they make it where that's the first soda you come to on a shelf, and so I always see that. And speaking of, even today I walked by and saw, and usually I always just kind of see like the current waves. I saw like a random Justice League flash, and I was so tempted to get it. I wanted it so bad because he's just sitting there, it
might get retired,
That's why I was thinking. I'm like,
well, then again,
has
it like, do they retire figures, Mark McFarlane?
I don't know.
Or have we gotten that far?
Retire them.
Just let them run out of stock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then they typically, it's time for the box set where we'll re-release this Flash figure, or the re-release of the Flash figure where everything looks exactly the same until you turn him around and he's painted a little bit lighter on the back.
And his hands are clear.
Yeah, showcasing his little Speed Force ability. It's like, what the?
Did y'all see the reveal? Did y'all see his reveal? McFarlane's reveal of is like the Suicide Squad box. It's like this huge box with the whole Suicide Squad there. Plus, you get a full King Shark, and I was like, "Wow!" I'm like, "Really? He's just gonna put that out?" I mean, and it was so funny. Like, it was huge. I'm like, "Where am I going to see this on sale at?"
Well, I think it's exclusive to the McFarlane toy store.
Oh, is it? Because I wouldn't be surprised if I see it in my comic shops. That's the thing, though, is that's where I expect to see it, and they will straight up. I know Neighborhood Comics will get it because they're good about getting a lot of that novelty stuff, like the real cool sets.
They probably just they probably will just order directly from McFarlane and just like resell it when it gets to their store. Resell it for like triple the price.
I don't know if they'll do that.
Well, I mean, but they got to make a profit. I get it though, because I'm sure Todd, he'll probably sell it for like 150 to 200, maybe even 250 for that big. Because the box did look good. And then you get this big box and then the toys, and then they're gonna have to sell it. So they're probably gonna sell it for $250.
I don't know, because I know that Walmart had that re-release of the Batman Who Laughs and the 3 Crows set, the 3 Crow Robins. So you got one of each face in there. So that was 4 figures, and it was $39.99 for a box set. And it's like, what? That is cheap. That could be why he's selling, because they're selling cheap. I don't know.
Also, he did like a Discord discussion recently, Todd McFarlane.
Yeah.
And the whole issue with the eyes was actually addressed. He did. And
what did he say? I kind of vaguely saw a little bit, but I don't know.
Yeah. The gist of it was the gist of it was they came to the conclusion that they think it makes them more dynamic, because if it's just looking forward, it looks too much like a mannequin.
Oh yes, that's the excuse.
And I thought that was the poorest excuse I could think of, because that's no more dynamic, because your dynamic is only just being able to look in that one direction now. That's not more dynamic at all.
But it's almost like when you're posing the figure, though, too. Sometimes, like some of them are, like the ones that are only supposed to be posed a certain way. That's not that dynamic either.
Yeah.
I guess they. Yeah, I wonder what would have been a good answer. I guess he could have gave for that, because I mean, it is one or the other. It depends on your personal preference. I just feel like his side eye stuff just looked weird.
Yeah, but I mean,
I've seen better ways of doing like cinematic looks and things like that.
Well, I mean, you look at like, what is it? The Batman figures, like basically all the characters that have visible eyes, they are all doing it, and it's just very off-putting, especially like for Batman. Yeah. See, he constantly looks like he's what's happening over here.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's stupid looking. Every single figure that's been released in the last 2 months, 3 months.
A lot of them have had that. Yeah.
Are all side eyes, and everything that's been introduced or unveiled here lately are all side eyes. So I'm like, dude, fix it.
Yeah. Well, I will say I don't think the new Witcher has side eyes. The one coming up in April, I don't think it does. Like all the shots I keep seeing of it, it looks like he's looking straight forward.
Well, this tends to be just DC Multiverse. I don't know why.
Yeah. Well, he's also doing some for the Amazon Prime show, Vox Machina.
Mm-hmm.
They revealed those pretty recently, and it kind of has the same look to it. I think that has side eyes as well. It's only like 2 figures, but they look like they're doing it.
That's horrible.
Speaking of those McFarlane figures, I also saw the other day Swamp Thing. Little Swamp Thing figure, which is awesome. Saw it at Target. I was immediately thinking about a friend of mine, Justin, who's a huge Swamp Thing fan, who's gotten my wife into Swamp Thing. So she was just like, "Oh, that looks awesome," and I'm like, "Yeah," because I mean, he was huge. He was bigger than the one I remember. Yeah, I think we did it on a previous episode. Remember, I had picked up a Swamp Thing figure for him.
Oh yeah, he's much bigger than that. Yeah,
he was. Yeah, this one was way bigger. So,
sadly, there's 3 versions of him. So you got the regular version and the horned version.
I was gonna say this one was like, I think, the regular version at Target,
and then the regular version unpainted. It's like, why are they releasing all these unpainted versions? I mean,
it's weird.
I don't get it. I don't get it. Another reason why he's probably the best selling action figure line of 2021.
Yep. What about hauls? We got hauls this week. Anybody got toys they want to share?
Oh yeah,
or anything for that matter? Anything y'all got?
I'll go last. I got quite a bit.
You got anything, Austin?
Yeah, I did pick this up. I actually got it today. I got
a great
the
toy.
Batman score. Yeah. Oh, this is a toy, because you know what we do is we love to listen to these while we read comics, and this is going to be perfect because it's the first movie score. And I've always wanted to get it. Like, this is the score, not the Prince album, but the actual score. So right when I got it home, I threw it on so I could hear the Batman theme, because obviously this is the best, probably one of the best comic book hero scores ever, to me, ever created.
Mm-hmm.
Like John Williams' Superman score and Danny Elfman's Batman score are probably the best that's ever been created. I mean, in terms of like iconic scores. And then I just love that it's pressed on like turquoise vinyl.
Cool.
So
that's cool.
yeah, I have I think our DC, the death metal, what was it called? Like death metal,
Yeah.
the sequel. What's the second
Death
part
metal.
called? I was going to say we have the
Ooh.
soundtrack on vinyl for that, and I think it's that color, or maybe it's this but marbled turquoise. But anyway, yeah, we've got that. So I wish they had the first. I know there was a picture disc of the DC metal
Yeah.
series or whatever. That was a great soundtrack, but I would love to have both of those on vinyl.
I remember in high school, man, I used to go to sleep every night with that tape in my tape deck playing.
This score or
the score.
Yeah. Dude, it's just so good.
Red and green. We just lost copyright music.
That and Batman Returns, the soundtrack.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say because on the Batman Returns they only had the score and it had that one Susie and the Banshee song on there, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
What was it? Face to Face.
Yeah.
I also do. I was gonna say I did pull this out of my box recently because I've been looking for him. It's my old
Dustin
Captain
Hoffman
Hook.
figure.
Yeah, my Captain Hook to go with my Peter Pan. So now now I have my
Perfect likeness of Robin Williams. Perfect.
Oh, yeah.
likeness.
dude. They even got him like buffed up like Robin Williams. Look at that. Look at them thighs. Look at that. Look at
That's
them
some
thighs.
Robin Williams thighs right there.
Woo!
Gotta help myself. Can't go on. Can't go on. Anyway, that's all I got really. Oh, and I've been playing around with my animated series Batmobile that I pulled out of storage. I'm telling you, man, I love the design that they went with the animated series Batmobile because it's pretty much like a really raw, like tore down version of the first movie Batmobile, because they even have like the lights and stuff, like the headlights, just like in the movie. The back end looks almost exactly like it, just no detail. You know what I'm saying? It's all tore down. I feel like the new Batmobile kind of is in this style, only it's just missing more of these features to make it more of like the Batmobile, to make it a little more oomph. But yeah, I just always love this because especially the fact that it's got this long nose that is not practical to drive anywhere. But no, I've been marveling at this recently, just sitting it on my work desk.
All right.
Well, I got some stuff over Valentine's Day. My wife got me. So first off, I got Alien, the board game, Fate and Nostromo. It's a board game.
Yes.
A game where you pull out a board and you play on it.
Oh, sweet.
Actually, it comes with like some figures. Yeah,
what's funny though is if this was 15 years
and
ago,
an alien figure.
Oh, that's awesome, dude!
Yeah.
If this was 15 years ago, that could easily be the DVD box set though that you're holding. Like you would fool me. You'd be like, "Oh yeah, here. Let's watch the movies." I'm like, "Oh yeah," because I just remember that thing was huge and it would just bop, bop, bop,
Oh, yeah.
bop, bop. It had like 80 discs.
I have to show you this really cool little thing about it, because when I first opened it up, I was like, "Oh wow!" And
who did that? Who's the company that put out that board? Was that
this
Funko
is
or
Ravensburger?
Ravensburger? I was gonna say Ravensburger them and Funko have been really good about these board games.
Yeah. So when you first open it up, this is the first thing you see. If you're good on your Alien lore, you'll understand the shot. Oh, but this is the first thing you see when you open the game up.
Oh man, that's awesome.
That's
awesome. What is it though? Is that part of a booklet or what is that?
It's part of the board. It's part of the board. The other side's the board that you unfold. But I love that was the first thing I saw, and I kind of jumped back a little bit when I saw this.
That's good. That's
face
good.
of Jonesy staring up at me. But yeah, I got that, and this other one just came in today. She had ordered it, and it came a little late, but she got me the expansion for the Marvel Villainous game.
Oh,
Nice.
I've never played it. I've seen it and wanted to.
Yeah, me and my wife want to play it. We've played it before, but we don't own it. Yeah, we want to get it because we want to play like the Disney Villainous, and then I've wanted to like transfer over and try the Marvel Villainous too.
Yeah, because this adds 3 new villains. It adds Madame Mask or Loki and MODOK.
So
as player characters.
Short synopsis. What's the? How does it play?
Basically, you pick a villain same way with Disney's villainous. Basically, you'll pick a villain from one of these movies. Like in the Disney one, it's like who all do we have? Like Maleficent, Ursula.
Yeah, like Maleficent, Ursula, Scar. Well, I mean, I think there was an expansion, I think, where you could get Scar, but there's several of them. I think the Evil Queen,
the Voodoo King or the Voodoo guy from Princess and the Frog, stuff like that.
Yeah,
and
stuff like that.
Yeah, and like Marvel versions like Thanos, Killmonger, stuff like that. But basically, you'll kind of play on a board, and you'll get these set of tasks that you have to do, like as your villain that you pick, and you basically have to fulfill the tasks that are on your villain card to be able to win before everybody else does.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's fun.
Yeah,
it's a good group game too. Like especially if you're playing with like a bigger group. It's fun.
Sweet.
I feel like she got it more for her than for me because she really wanted to play as Loki. she likes Loki.
It's a win-win situation.
Oh yeah, she recently got like a President Loki Funko that she has set up in her office now.
That's nice.
Yeah.
What's sad is if I was playing them, I'd probably want to. If I was playing the Disney one, I'd want to be Ursula because for whatever reason, she's one of my favorite villains.
Yeah, because
is that your haul?
Yeah. See, I'm just showing you real quick since you were asking about it. Like, so the villains you get from the original, like Thanos,
Taskmaster, Killmonger, Ultron, Hill, and Thanos. Okay.
Yeah.
What's the Thanos figure look like? Is it show them at the bottom of the thing? Don't it show it just on the back?
Oh
right? Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say. See, I love the designs of the little tokens you get, like the little things you have. They it's not like the people. It's like tokens of the people, and they just look great.
Yeah,
God,
Thanos, Hela, Ultron, the Killmonger, Taskmaster.
I actually really like that Taskmaster one. That one looked really cool.
Well, then let me pull these. Yeah, and here's the 3 for them.
Yeah, see, that one looks really cool. I like that.
Yeah.
I like the Madam Mask one. Yeah. Reminds me of the comics. The way she looks in comics. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, it's fun again. We haven't actually gotten to play this version yet. I haven't got a chance to pull it out, but yeah, I can't wait to try it, especially with this expansion pack.
All right, my turn.
Go for it.
Okay, I'm. Somebody just left a comment. Vin FYI. Okay, sweet, guy. All right, so here's. I've been on the Whatnot app for a little bit here, and I spent about $25 the other day, and this is what I got. So I'm recollecting some things. So here's Power of the Force, Gamorrean Guard.
You got a long way to go, don't you?
Yes, I have a long way to go.
Now, what are you collecting? Are you collecting like OG toys?
Just the 3 3/4 Star Wars stuff.
I mean, are you like from their first line? Or are we doing Power of the Force?
3 3/4 inch.
Just whatever.
So, yep, just whatever. So here is Empire Strikes Back. Leia.
Classic Empire Leia.
Yep.
Now, is that an OG or is that one of the re-releases?
Nope, this is OG.
Okay.
Original. And then I got hold on. Stuff is about to start falling. Rebel Fleet Trooper guy.
Cool.
AT-AT driver.
Nice.
Yep. And another Leia.
Nice.
Empire.
See,
Leia.
I love those Power of the Force figures. I mean, it's just that was what I was introed to, but it's just especially the orange ones. The first line. When you see Luke and Obi and I mean, I love those. That's why I had to get, which you might be impressed. I don't know if I showed this on the show before, but I do have Power of the Force signed, like an Anthony Daniels.
Oh, that's sweet.
Autographed and a R2D2.
Oh, Kenny Baker.
Yeah, autographed.
Oh, that is sweet.
And awesome. These two were, and what's funny is I got them back in the day, like at a pawn shop, and these are really cool. I like these because I had some that weren't signed, and then I found these that were, and I'm like, these are way better.
I'll keep those.
And I paid dirt cheap for them too.
How much?
Like probably how much you pay, like $3 to $5 a piece.
Oh, that is cool. That's
Yeah.
cool. So I went to Ollie's and I picked her up. She was only $3.99.
Ooh,
Yeah,
that's a good
So-
one.
so
That's the Black Series figure I have of Ray. That is
Oh.
basically that exact version, just Black Series, because I've got the hood and everything.
All right, so here's some more stuff that's gonna start falling. So I got this guy.
Oh,
from the
now
Mandalorian.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Wow, I've never seen him in the wild before.
Well, I got him from Entertainment Earth.
That's awesome.
Yep, got him from Entertainment Earth. Hang on.
You'll probably never see him again.
Got Hondo Anaka.
Ooh, now that's cool.
Yep, Hondo.
Nice.
I need to pick up next time I go to the Galaxy's Edge or whatever. I've definitely got to get a Hondo something. I want to get a figure, but I do want to get a pop too for some
I
reason.
was gonna say you can still get him. You can get him on Target.com. He's available online. You can buy him from there for
I don't know.
a regular price.
I just feel like I want to grab him while I'm there, but I don't know.
Gonk.
Gonk droid.
Gonk.
Gonk
Yep.
droid.
Gonk droid. Then the retro style
Oh no, he's pixelating. No.
Moff Gideon.
I've been
And
seeing
then-
that one a lot. Yeah.
Then Tammy bought me for Valentine's Day. I didn't know.
Oh,
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh,
Awesome.
dude, that is so great. That's the one I want.
Twinsies.
Oh, you got it
that's so
too?
great.
Yeah, I have that in my back. Yeah.
I mean, it's really nice. It comes in like a book style box, but I mean, it's going to come out of this book style box when it goes into the shelf. But
Yeah, I think I'd probably take him out too because I just love. I want him. What's sad though is I really want the Salamiri that comes with him.
Yeah.
that's what you want, huh?
Put him
I
around.
love it. I
Ronnie's
love
neck.
the Luke too, but man, I just love that they have that.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure they've got to bring those into the Star Wars universe at some point. And then that's probably going to be big money.
I'm really surprised that they haven't made an attempt. Hasbro hasn't made an attempt to make a Mara Jade Black Series figure yet.
Yeah, that's true. I wonder why they haven't made because they've done a
Because,
Jaina, but
they
then they didn't do Jason.
They got to run stuff through Lucasfilm, so
Yeah. I mean, because
probably what Lucasfilm wants.
yeah, because I'm fairly certain that one would probably sell like hotcakes, at least with adult collectors.
Oh yeah, like adult collectors, they would. Yeah, you couldn't.
Yeah.
From just the stuff I've heard, though, Lucasfilm is pretty strict about what they allow out.
Especially
So
in
they
terms
work-
of expanded universe stuff. Or,
Yeah.
or
So they work
extended
really
legends.
close with Hasbro to decide, what goes up.
I would love to see a
Well,
Dash Rendar Black Series. That would be awesome if they would do like a Shadows of the Empire line where they do like Shizor, Dash Rendar, like the the Chewie that looks like a bounty hunter where they had to chop his hair up.
Chewy.
Yeah,
Mullet
it gave
Chewy.
him mullet and throw on I think he didn't have like an eye patch and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
God, I would just love to at least get a hold of like a Dash Rendar and a Shizor, Prince Shizor Black Series. Because I mean, obviously and Mara Jade. I mean, they could do all of that with the Legends line now. They've got Jaina. When they did her, they should. I was expecting them to follow her up with Jason at some point, and they never did.
Yeah, well, I think hers was a special thing because I think that was like a
It
big
was a fan
vote.
wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah, I was
big
going to say the
fan
fans
vote.
voted, but I just felt
Yeah.
like since she was she was voted in, I felt I thought they would try to like
Do it
complete
again,
twins,
Try it.
like give the Jason side of it and give you the Jason twin, and then
Well, I'm just surprised they never did that again, like a fan vote figure again. I'm surprised. That's
What if we get a look at Dash Rendar and Cassian Andor?
I hope we do. I would love to see that character because I mean I've loved Dash Rendar. Like it would be amazing if they brought him into this universe.
Or maybe even Kenobi. Nah, I doubt it'll be Kenobi. But you never know.
It would make more sense. No, it would make sense in Andor, and I could definitely see him even doing like being a side character. Like he pops up kind of like a Cara Dune or something.
Yeah.
So.
Cool.
Oh, man. I wonder if Saul will show up on Andor. That'd be an interesting.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah,
I hope
I
they
think
do.
he is.
Yeah.
The rumors are that he's.
You can't hire Forrest Whitaker and then just not get him in live action again.
No, you can't. All right. We've run late, long.
We're gonna get fined.
Final words
by the StreamYard people.
Final words.
Final words.
Don't do drugs.
Yeah, don't.
None of them. They're bad.
Don't do any of those drugs.
Here's my final word. If Hasbro really is working hand in hand with Lucasfilm, who at Lucasfilm okayed Black Chrysanthemum's Black Series figure? Someone didn't pay attention.
George Lucas.
Listen to this man. He's going to come to your house.
It's George Lucas.
I'll find you. Let me give you the biggest wet willy right there in the ear. Not going to like it. Not going to like it at all.
All right, y'all. It's time to leave.
No, I'm watching.
That toy life.
To catch these ghosts, you need the real Ghostbusters.
Nice landing, Han Solo.
Spaceships and Luke Skywalker sold separately. Batteries not included.
That toy life.